Oh, we are live. Nothing is at the bottom of my screen. So I didn't actually have a clue if that had worked. But very warm welcome along back to ARL F2 here on a Thursday as always. We are here for the penultimate round of the season, this time taking Formula 2 to Brazil in an enthralling championship battle between Pluto and Expilo. We're already coming to the line in the fight for pole position. There was several position changes there, and in the end it was nabbed by Expilo. That all came around very suddenly indeed, I have to admit. So I'm very sorry for that slow introduction. But 4 points are in the hands of Expilo, where every single point counts in this championship. It's absolutely incredible. And what's even more incredible is that the top 3 drivers are separated by less than a tenth. And then a second back is the 4th place driver, Mr. Bokred of Chungus, F1 driver. Our new reserve. Oh my. Still have no idea how to say his name. Kulchi. Please don't hurt me. Goggle in 8th place. And Y-Boy Jake, Graham, Aaron Ocon, Erna, LSJ Rundle, Matty Mumu, and Common MV not setting a time. Being disqualified there. Pluto very angry that 4 points have been handed there to Expilo with the pole position in a championship lead that he led by just 1 point before this got underway. He now leads it by 5 heading into the feature race. Also, another thing to note as well is that if High-Tech outscore Carlin by 21 points, then yeah, High-Tech win the team's championship. And it's very worrying start now for Expilo as his game has just crashed moments before the formation lap, meaning it will be a race to get back in the session. His car has gone. The formation lap is underway. There'll be 20 laps ahead of us. Hopefully he can get back in. Strategy then. Everyone on the soft tyres, except from Chungus and Graham, who've gone for the mediums. This is really worrying now for Expilo. His game has crashed for a second time. The cars are forming up. We'll see if this race can start. I have not seen Expilo get back into the session, so it's Pluto's time to capitalise. The battle resumes then. However it will take place. Expect to see Expilo go flying off into the distance, and that is because his game has crashed, and it's in Pluto's hands. The F2 feature race is underway here at Brazil. It's a good getaway from Pluto. It's important that he holds the lead. Mr. Boca holding on to P2 there on the outside, covering off the inside line, and a crash. That is between Chungus and F1 driver, both rejoining the track, with Gogglesaw slotting into 6th place. Now 7th as F1 driver gets around the outside. We've got LSJ Rundleoff in the background, and he is now plumb last, side by side between Matty, who had a really, really poor qualifying for High Tech, getting around the outside of Erna. On board with FRA LMGs, they head up the hill. A double right sequence. And he's going to look around the outside here. And again, just biding his time. On the run through turn 11, Mr. Boca runs very, very wide. They make their way back up the hill. Kink of 13. And they arrive at turn 14 and a small kink of 15, making turn 12 the last proper corner on this racetrack for braking. So keep that in mind as LMG pulls to the right hand side. Can he get the move done for second place? Very important for Dams if they want to keep a grip on fighting for this team's championship. Mr. Boca there, slightly forced off the track. He keeps the position, runs wide there though, and in the second Campos for today, Culci, I'm just going to call him whatever at this point, but it's 4, nose to tail, in towards turn 4, and side by side between Chungus getting ahead there, and the Campos, with the Charus driver coming out on top. Very nicely done by Chungus, capitalised perfectly. It's official, Pluto is now in the lead. Expilo, who had that big advantage at the race start. His starts have not been great as of recently. But now this is where he drops down the order rapidly, because it is one big train. As you can see, LMG getting through there. It's an absolute disaster for Expilo, and you can only feel sorry for him, because these are points being dropped rapidly. These are drivers that are not easy to pass if he has a pace advantage towards the end of the race. Pluto leads the second lap then. We've got 18 more to go. 10% on the way through. We've got a battle here. F1 driver down the inside of Gogglesaw. Very, very nicely done. But the DRS is enabled on this lap. This is seeming like a very fun combination so far. I've not actually seen an F2 race on the F1 game taking place at this circuit, but actually, not on this game. I had on the 2019 game, but that was, I want to say, about 22 months ago now. So that was a long time ago. Still Expilo dropping places rapidly there. We've got Aaron Ocon. We've got close to the back of Matty, who overtakes his teammate for P9. LSJ Rundle picks up the first time penalties, 8 seconds in plumb last at the moment. My boy Jake shifting up position into 11th. What pressure is LMG mounting at the moment? Cleared Boca at the end of the first lap. And now gets a move on. Sets the fastest lap of the race. It's just creeping closer to that 1 second mark. Can he get into this DRS range? But Chungus has gone down the inside of Mr. Boca and is absolutely flying on the medium tyres. Erna has sped into the pit lane. Rookie to this series, if you like, but was a willing recruit nonetheless. Great to have him here. Wide boy Jake and Aaron Ocon. That's Aaron Ocon running wide at turn 4. And here comes Communist at turn 5. It's a very, very nice move indeed. If he can hold on to it on the inside. I need to invite Expilo very, very quickly now. I think that is done. So Erna has pitted very, very early onto the medium tyres. He's lost a lot of ground and will lose more with a 5-second penalty. LMG is closed about a further 5/10, half a second since we last watched him. But it's Pluto that we're watching. And LMG in the slipstream there, tucking in with the DRS as well. He thought about it for a moment. But yeah, from the onboard, he is too far back. Chungus and Mr. Boca for the second lap in a row, going side by side. And the opening corners, what crap camera angles. But we still see here through turn 3, Chungus tucked in behind Mr. Boca for a move in towards turn 4. Can he get it done? He's committed to the inside. Mr. Boca should leave him the space. And he has done. Back up into 3rd place. Mr. Boca there running wide and might just have to yield any potential attack into turn 6, 7 and 8. Oh no, he has gone for it. Down the inside, took a lot of grass with him on his right hand side. Chungus holds the inside line, but he can get a good exit up there on the outside line, but he's hit the grass again, and F1 driver now heading around the outside. Erna is retired on his very first race in the pit lane. Now, LMG, here we go, starting lap 6, LMG to the outside of Pluto, who will still have the inside line to try and contend this first place with, but LMG's pace advantage has been very, very good these past couple of laps, but now Pluto has the DRS, so we'll see what he can do with that himself. So he's got a nice run through. Oh, yellow flags. It's a virtual safety car. LSJ Rundle has crashed out turn 13 there, heading onto the straight. Bit bizarre. Maybe he's got up on that outside curb and completely lost the car, but that's able to be cleared. They've only deployed a virtual safety car at the game. And should be back underway, excuse me, very, very shortly. With drivers just able to, it's not like they need to manage any fuel or ERS. All that nonsense in these cars. That is why the racing can be so close at times. Still on board with Pluto here as he starts to reapply the pressure to LMG. A little bit of momentum can be lost under the virtual safety car periods. Into the pits comes Pluto then, going for the undercut on LMG. And now, I'm going to have to agree, Expelo's still not back in. I mean, I'm going to try for a 4th time. This is super unfortunate, and this could well be the championship effectively lost. If he can't even get back in for the sprint, that could well be game over. With Pluto's situation now, he's going for the lead of the race once more with this undercut. I believe Rundle would like to join me, so if he is watching, I will invite you. Let's get him in here. It's like we had Matty on last week, and we're always welcome to speak to drivers. Welcome on other commentators. It's not like we've had the greatest variety of commentary during this season, but these last 2 rounds we had obviously Matty in for the feature race at Russia after that opening crash, and Rundle after a crash at turn 13 a couple of laps ago joins me now. Hello Rundle, are you able to include your audio? What happened? Oh! Oh, that's unfortunate, yeah. Tricky corner that. Y-Boy Jake also gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but what is more significant is LMG's penalty, because Pluto will be punching the air right now. He just needs to stick within 5 seconds of him, and he may well have the undercut done anyway. I actually think there's quite a big gap. That is huge. Must have been an error on this lap for Pluto. That's a 4-second gap, and that could easily be pulled away. Let's calm down. It's Communist, I think, was going slowly there, picking up speed. Yes. This is for 12th place. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, because in a championship fight that's only separated by 1 point. Ooh, that's Lewis Hamilton's send there from Mr. Boker, actually, and he's gonna actually try and fight it around the outside of 11. Just runs wide there. I've seen him done that once. He's done that once or twice now. Not really getting too much from it. Aaron Ocon is into the pits. Did the longest of anyone on those soft tyres. This could benefit him going onto the medium tyres. Will be fresher at the end. We'll see what pace he does have. Some tracks, you know, he's really not a bad contender, is Aaron Ocon. Just needs to keep the penalties low, and on a track like Brazil, it can be very, very difficult. Communist is spelling the pit lane as well. This pit lane, like it does in the F1 cars, is catching people out here as well, because it's a slower speed limit, of course. And, yeah, well, that isn't always remembered. No worries. Something like that, yeah. See, Communist gap to the field. It just kind of sums it up, really. What Mr. Boker is in as well is a net podium place. Space F2 cars. He's really done well this season. Yeah, and this is becoming a really tasty fight for a podium place here, as F1 driver has the outside line. He gets his car completely in front, but Mr. Boker down the inside at the first corner. F1 driver leaves the room. Could force himself into a nice switchback here. Matty Mumi with the fastest lap as well. Don't rule him out in the latter stages of the race as we approach halfway now. Mr. Boker again back down the inside at turn 4. Great corner for overtaking this, and he has got the place once again. F1 driver holding for now. Oof, almost pushing him through turn 6. Yeah, these two closing up to Wide Boy Jake at the moment, who has that 5-second time penalty anyway. LMG sets a fastest lap and net leads Pluto by 3.9 seconds with a 5-second time penalty. So you can kind of look at that as he's actually 1 second behind. It's got to find that over the next 9 laps or so. Yeah. Mr. Boker was quite slow at turn 6 on the previous lap, which is this corner here. He's F1 driver just finding a little bit more confidence through that corner. It can be a confidence thing. think F2. You never know when you're quite on the limit of the downforce, especially if you're a bit in and out of the F2 cars. Good stint from Graham. Stayed about 3.5 seconds behind Chungus there. He's actually going on the... Oh, it's to retire. I was going to say, it's a bit early. Oh, right. Oh, no. Absolutely, yeah. LMG with another fastest lap and extends that gap to 4.6. Oh, there's a three-way fight for P7 now. Matty Mumu's already got past Jake, who's barely leaving Goggle a car's width, but he gets a nice run through the second corner. And can he switch back through the apex of turn 3? Jake still has the DRS from Matty, so Gogglesaw has to be committed here and goes down the inside of the ART and does so. And can now resume the chase on Matty Mumu. Expelo says your audio isn't included. Apparently. Interesting. I mean, when I started this stream, it didn't come up in the bottom right or anything, where it usually is that it was on. But I checked the Twitch channel when it was live. Oh, I don't know if that's a related issue or anything, but yeah. No worries, no worries. F1 driver still behind Mr. Boca. I think he's a bit more inactive with the overtakes because oh, he's broke very late, almost taking him straight off the racetrack. Yeah, an F1 driver just seems to have that pace advantage in the middle sector. Chungus is into the pits after a 13-lap stint on the mediums. He'll be doing 7 on the softs to get him to the end of the race. This could be a very fun charge indeed for him, because he was fighting for a podium position with Boca, an F1 driver in that sort of position. So this could be turning into a three-way fight as we see Mr. Boca, an F1 driver, down the main straight. F1 driver not at this point making a move yet again. Out of the pit lane comes Chungus. Spot him on the left hand side, and this is actually going to be really, really close. As predicted, Chungus just slots in behind the two of them, so has to make 2 overtakes now to get the podium position. This could be really, really interesting. Yes, he has 5.5, so he has a 5/10 margin. Simple calculation. Oh, need to invite Matty, not another one. Just in the nick of time, we're back to watch this one. F1 driver not too close this time. It's going to be difficult for Chungus because F1 driver... Oh, down the inside goes Chungus! Oh, F1 driver closed that gap to get to the apex of the first corner. But Chungus has aggressively made up the place. F1 driver will fight back with similar attitude, I suppose. But the grip difference keeps Chungus ahead. Yeah. Oh, voice crack. Oh my god. Breathe. Yeah, we know what Chungus is capable of after that previous move. So here he goes again, and with Mr. Boker not having any DRS or slipstream, this could be an even easier move for Chungus, and this is for a podium position. Chungus has the outside line, but Mr. Boker will fight back down the inside and almost takes him off the track. He's going to have to cut the corner. No idea how he didn't get any sort of penalty for that by the game. Technically an illegal overtake. He's weaving as well. So is Mr. Boker. Some on-track communication going on. F1 driver trying to capitalise. Yeah, but we do tend to see a couple of bottles from this guy in the F2 cars. It's not yet happened. There's still 4 laps remaining where it could happen. Don't jinx dams. Well, both high-techs having tragic amounts of trouble. And a win for LMG. And a fastest lap as well would rule out the opportunity for high-tech to clinch his championship. Today, that means. Back with our P3 battle, because that's about the only on-track action at the moment. F1 driver, he's all over the place, and has lost the DRS actually to Mr. Boker through that error, so could be him out of this fight, and it could well now be exclusive to Mr. Boker and Chungus Goat 1. Three laps remaining. Let's cross the line. DRS now open for Mr. Boker, who will just need to hope that Chunks' tyres go off. DRS is really keeping him in the fight here, but also some splendid driving from Mr. Boker. Hasn't really put a foot wrong, other than the collision a couple of laps ago. He's actually got the run here. Ooh. Closing speed was very, very large, and up the hill they go to the double right. We've seen moves being attempted here, but at this stage in the race, it's not quite worth it. Got to set yourself up, as Mr. Boker will be thinking for the last couple of laps. We have a battle between Matty Mumu and Y-Boy Jake, who gets him on the inside of turn 7. He still holds the inside for turn 8. The move is now completed, and Matty Mumu could now keep this reverse grid pole, because can't really get close to Goggle. He's just got to keep Jake behind, and with the 5-second penalty and that mistake, that's going to be very, very simple for him across these final 2 laps. So, good news from the high-tech camp. Yes. And here he goes to the outside of turn number 4. Mr. Boca. Can he keep it on the track? He's got a very poor run there, and I thought for a moment he might squeeze Chungus into that left curb, which can ultimately result in a very big crash. But Chungus keeps third place ahead of the final lap. Oh, here he goes, down the inside. At turn 10, Mr. Boca gets it done. But that's just handing the opportunity back to Chungus, who will have 2 DRS straights. Or will he slow down and try and give him back that DRS? No, he's going to be the defending car for the final lap. Lap 20 of 20. Chungus switches late, goes to the inside for the podium position once more. Chungus gets it done. Now he's the defending car on the run to turn 4. Mr. Boca gets a very, very nice exit. And this could be his position back in the bag. Oh, small movement there from Chungus. There's a little bit of contact. Mr. Boca pulls alongside again. Down into turn 4. He has the inside line. Can Chungus hold it on the outside? No, he's just squeezed off the track. But and have the run all the way to the finish line, where we've seen photo finishes in leagues in real life. In the last Brazilian Grand Prix held in 2019, you'll remember that Pierre Gasly drag race to the finish line with Lewis Hamilton to take that second place. Lewis was eventually demoted to 7th after a collision at this corner here. Took an hour or two for the news to break, but it was delight for Carlos Sainz that day. But today it's delight for FRA LMG, who gives Dams a lifeline and wins the Brazilian Grand Prix feature race at F2. Pluto takes second place here, and well, missing out by 1.7 seconds after that LMG. Oh, I think that was F1 drive at the final corner. Chungus could not get Mr. Boca, and it's well held by the Campos driver. Debutant, I don't even want to attempt it anymore. Takes 5th place. Very, very well done to him. He had a lonely race, but a great 10 points to take. F1 driver finishes 6th out of Gogulsor and Matti. That top 8 will be reversed for this very, very important sprint race. Alright, best of luck. Yeah, sorry about the stupid technical difficulties, but yeah, good luck, and looking forward to it. Again, apologies, because I don't have volume on, but apparently you couldn't hear him. Here's the podium then for our feature race, and I've just accidentally pressed A while trying to save my controller from falling. Apologies, but here are the results. Nevertheless, FRA LMG there with 27 points and a huge lifeline, like I said, to Dams there. Yeah, congratulations to you. Very good debut. See you there in Twitch chat. Mr. Boca in 3rd place. Good drive from him out of Chungus. You try that reverse strategy. Let's have a little consideration into this championship. And Expilo did have a 5-point lead. And with an 18-point swing the other way, Pluto now leads by 13. I think that's correct, but it'll be something similar if I'm wrong, but I've just realised something as well. My mind completely confused Carlin and Dams for this championship. It's actually Carlin closing in on High Tech. I completely forgot. It was LMG was dominating that one and had that as a championship scenario in my mind. Very, very many apologies about that. It's a mistake that no commentator wants to realise that they've absolutely embarrassed themselves with. So I'm very, very sorry to Carlin because no, they are still in this fight heading into these remaining rounds, and Dams, I think they can still close up on Carlin for P2. It's very, very difficult, but they've consolidated their P3, and it's a very, very good win for LMG, who might still be thinking about closing up to Expilo for this final round of the championship. Matty Mumu for High Tech has first place for this 14-lap sprint race. Right, every driver will run the medium tyres for the entire thing. Third place is F1 driver ahead of Davidson Campos, ahead of the returning Chungus to this season. And then Mr. Boker's another returning driver earlier this season, and Pluto. Raced F2 for quite a long time now, hence the competitiveness. LMG, this guy can do a lot. We'll start 8th. Aaron Ocon in 9th place there. Expilo not able to return, and it's really, really sad because his first Tier 2 championship, his first championship in general, meant so much to him, and this one is no different. For this F2 championship, which has been so fiercely competitive, in a good way, it's not been negative at all this season, and it's a huge turnaround from what we saw early in our first F2 season. So, and without him, and without his inputs, this new season would not have been possible. The fight, it's still mathematically possible for him. He just needs to hope Pluto scores absolutely nothing, or little to no points, or little points I should say, in this sprint race, and hoping for a miracle final round next week. On that round 9 of 10. This is a sprint race at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Thank you to everyone that has tuned in so far. It's been an absolute pleasure again. Here we go then. The 5 red lights are coming on here for the second time today here in Brazil. They're revving it up now, and Expilo is gone. But we are underway. It's lights out, and away we go again. What a start for Gogglesaur as he makes his way up into the lead of this sprint race with Matty Mumu trying to fight back the position he lost. Oh, great move there at turn 2 by Kunchi. I'm still calling you that. I'm so sorry. F1 driver takes it back, though, and miles off the track goes FRA LMG, with Pluto going up into 5th place already. Sorry, I should say 4th. This is net 4th for Pluto. Started from 7th. What a start indeed. And can LMG, or there might have been a touch to his front wing there causing damage. Chungus just covering off the inside line there under braking. I was just checking what was going on there at the back, but Matty Mumu, 2nd place behind Gogglesaur. Had good pace in the early stages of the feature, wasn't to be later on. He had a good fight with Gogglesaur, hence why putting some emphasis on his name, putting some emphasis on Gogglesaur's name, because we know these two can produce a very good fight. Oh, that's LMG, and he's just managed to collect it and save that one there. Mr. Boker has been off, the podium sitter from our feature race. Back to Matty Mumu, who's closed to about within 2/10 of Gogglesaur. They overtake the stricken, disconnected Expelo, who, with complete sympathy, I still feel really sorry for him. But White Boy Jake has been around at turn 10, limped through turn 11. The gap has opened up here, and one move that is going to take place is Pluto down the inside of F1 driver at turn 1. Just runs a little bit deep, allowing a nice opportunity for a switchback. Twice there executed by F1 driver, and this is going to give him the DRS and the run down to turn 4. Here we go. F1 driver keeps hold of that P3. LSJ Rundle makes it 3 wide. The crash had a crash there involving Erna on his debut round. Mr. Boca, sorry, not Mr. Boca, Communist MV was the third driver involved there. The biggest incident we've seen so far. Graham there running a touch wide at turn 12 as he runs in 8th place. Had to retire from the feature race. And Matty Mumu is taking the lead as we speak at the start of lap 4. Great move there from Matty Mumu to get in front of Gogglesaw and into the lead of the sprint race. But Gogglesaw will certainly be fighting back here. Matty tucks to the inside line. Will show Gogglesaw the outside, or in fact, will it be the inside? He just backs off there. Pluto got up into 3rd place. LMG joining this 4-car train for this position. Oh, down the inside goes LMG on Chungus Goat. And in fact, F1 driver he overtakes as well. It wasn't for much longer, but Chungus is still there up the inside of turn 12. LMG with front wing damage. Down the inside goes Chungus, and this is making it 3 wide at turn 1 as he still tucks in behind LMG. We have a yellow flag, and I think it's for White Boy Jake. But Chungus again in the slipstream, and someone else who'll be arriving on the scene is F1 driver. He makes it almost 3 wide, excuse me. LMG holds on to 4th place. Another crash, and into the wall goes F1 driver and collects Chungus. It's our second incident of the sprint race at this corner, or just after it. And that battle is over in a flash. On board again with Gogglesaw as he tries to retake the lead this time. He's got a really good run here on Matty Mumu as he goes to the inside line. It's going to be a very simple pass, but a good one nonetheless. Into the lead again goes Gogglesaw in the HWA. Matty Mumu there had a good run, but oh, we've got another 3-way battle. Mr. Boca pushing the F1 driver who got a bit loose. Aaron Ocon gets F1 driver, moves up into a points paying position. 7th place. In fact, that is Mr. Boca has a little look. Oh, and off the track goes Aaron Ocon. And really wide onto the runoff area as a result of just the smallest of pushes. Communist MV gets up into 9th place. This has been a race that has had serious amounts of action. Y-Boy Jake retires. Ooh, Communist there getting really close to ARL Aaron Ocon. Has Rundle crashed for the second race? He has, and causes the second virtual safety car of the evening. This time it was up at turn 9, turn 10. This neutralises the front pack. Pluto is on the back of Matty and Gogglesaw. So this is going to make for a really fun and entertaining half of the race. Second half of the race spent with these three fighting. And we're underway again. Green flags being waved. Who has the momentum? Did he just... He's got a drive-through penalty! Gogglesaw has a drive-through penalty for speeding onto the virtual safety car. I saw Graham's pop up. Didn't see Goggles pop up. I think it must have done just a split second before. But he's got a drive-through penalty. This is going to hand the lead to Matty Mumu. He has a 1.3 second lead over Pluto. Will he get it done now? No, Goggles going to try and hold on as much as possible. Just build the gap to any potential traffic. I mean, he'll come out, what? He'll come out 10th. You know, either way, it's not a good scenario. Matty slipstreams. It's not quite enough, but I don't think he'll mind at this stage. On board with Communist MV. This is for P8 and a point in this race. Down the inside goes Communist MV. Can he get it done? He does. Flip back to Expelo there by accident, but yes, he did get it done in the UNI Virtuosi. Aaron Ocon has front wing damage after the earlier moments, but still fights on anyway. Will Goggles serve his drive-through? Yes, he will. And this hands the lead to Matty Mumu with Pluto with the DRS as well, now chasing him for the lead. LMG moves up into third with front wing damage. Another thing to note as well, as we see one Campos making an overtake. That was Boca. And Communist still fighting with Aaron Ocon. This time for 7th, because Gogglesaw had the drive-through. Race for points now for Goggle. He's got 7.6 second count to make up. But I was saying, Mr. I can't really say his name, because I don't know. I'm sure he won't mind. We all learn. He's running 4th. And in the DRS of LMG, he's fighting for a podium here. So very well done to him. Clearly got some pace in him. And that is what we like to see. More competition is good competition. Lap 10 of 14 in this sprint race, with Pluto setting the fastest lap of the race. And gets very close to the back of Matty Mumu. Got a yellow flag, and is that Erna? that's retired on track could well cause a safety car. It hasn't. It's been mopped up quickly. Matty Mumu still holding on to the lead as we stick on board with Pluto. The action is limited, but it's not a bad thing because it's a fight for the lead and a fight for P3. The rest of the on track action is pretty scattered at the moment. I think we've got F1 driver into the wall. If not, it's Chungus. It is F1 driver. The same place where Rundle went off earlier in the race. He is back underway though. F1 driver speeds in the pit lane and that's to retire. It's become our 4th DNF of this sprint race. Pluto is having a really hard time behind Matty Mumu. Maybe he's just biding his time, but he's just not getting close enough in general to make any sort of move into turn 1. Gets up close there on the brakes, but Matty's cornering confidence, his applications to the throttle have been very, very good, and that is what is keeping him behind at this moment in time. All round good driving from Matty Mumu as he keeps good friend Pluto behind. With 2.5 laps to go, Gogglesaw is going for a point. For P8, he's had a sluggish exit there, so he's going to have to wait a bit longer. Here comes Pluto then to the outside at turn 1, and it's been a long time coming, but he leads this sprint race. But for how much longer? Matty pushing him through the second corner, and for the final lap he could potentially have him back, as here he goes then with the DRS. It could even be on this straight. Look at the run he's got, but it's not going to be. Matty just needs to stick close. That was not yet the deciding overtake. But it's a significant one, as it will shape the final lap. Lap 13 of 14. If Pluto was to win, if he has the fastest lap as well, he does, he'll extend the championship gap to 30 points. Roughly, give or take. So, for Expelo, who I'm sure watches on, I'm sure is still not over the fact that the game has let him down. This is all through no fault of his own, but he's now seeing a championship that was separated by 0 points, 1 point, 4 points. You know, margins in single digits and literally no digits. Fade away. But here comes Matti Mumu then. Could he change the gap that Pluto pulls at the top of the championship? He's not going to do it around the outside just yet, but it's clear he can contend and could make this a photo finish across the line for this sprint race. It's not often we see such finishes, but this could be one of them. Oh, Matty's had a poor run through there at turn 11, and he's absolutely got to nail turn 12. Will Pluto get DRS? No, he's just passed him before the detection point. But for Pluto, he's got a nice big margin here, and is going to take a 30-point lead in this championship. Pluto wins the Brazilian Grand Prix sprint race, with Matty coming home in second place, LMG in third, and Mr. Boca over to his reserve teammate to take P4. Communist will finish in P6. Aaron Ocon gets 2 points to his name, and Gogusuk will have... Ah, they're gonna formation to the line. Graham's got him. This is for a point. Oh, 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 oh. Take him out. You won't. And that is it. It's all done and dusted this week. It's been not the advancement to the championship story we'd hoped for. It'd be interesting to hear about Pluto's emotions. We have one more round next week, and that is it for the season. The schedule concludes at Bahrain, so can you really complain? For a season concluder, I am more than happy for a bit of Bahrain. Great track for some great racing in the Middle East. Here we are then. These are the sprint race results, with Pluto taking the win and maximum points, pushing his gap up to about 30 as previously mentioned. Well, this final week may not be as dramatic as we may think, but the fight is not yet. It's not over until it's over. I mean, with Pluto's flawless driving all season, it's going to be unlikely, but it is still there. Congratulations to Pluto and LMGR winners today. And indeed, thank you to the viewers, for watching this one as well. Until next time then, guys, join us next week for ARL F2, the season finale at Bahrain. Goodbye.